So I've been tasked with summarizing what we learned today. And in preparation for that, I took copious notes on everybody's presentation, but I also have a strong sense of self-preservation. And that warns me against doing that. So my only comments are that for those of us who are here, are healthcare providers, that last session really tells us we have a lot of work to do. And my sort of takeaway is that we should act locally, think globally. I think that when you look at those maps, probably the vast majority of patients with XLH in the world are not benefiting from the kind of resource-rich medical care that we're providing in industrialized nations, and even that is failing terribly, as we just learned. So I think we need to build better models here. It's in our own local practices. I think we need to clearly work in tandem with the XLH Alliance and similar patient groups to find out whether what we're doing is actually working. I think the notion of having centralized care is important, and I think it's an iterative process. As we iteratively are able to meet the guidelines and then check to see whether that's making a difference in patients' lives, we can build a model that can then be used in other parts of the world, modified depending on what their resources are that are available. So I think on the science side, our goal is to find more effective therapies so the burden of disease for the next generation is far less, and some of these multimodalities that we need to be employing now and for the foreseeable future ultimately won't be needed. But I think it's also true when I think about the patient I met from Peru who can't even get phosphate, or the thousands of patients I heard about in China, that the kinds of patients we're seeing now, the kinds of burden disease we're seeing now are going to exist for a long time. But it seems like for us, our mission is to build the models that we are able to build because of what we have access to use as models to replicate in other parts of the world. And at the same time, push the science so we can optimize burosumab therapy, tweak it if it need be in adolescents like Leanne thinks we need to, be cognizant of this other potential mechanism of ACE-arm peptides and pyrophosphate inhibiting mineralization, and exploit that knowledge to see whether there's another therapeutic approach we can use to optimize treatment.